What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Vitaly Dubin is here, founder and creator of Bitcoin's post-club system, with another episode of Today in Crypto Show. What a week! We had one of the worst weeks, probably the worst week after April 2013 in Bitcoin, and it broke the support of $4,000 and broke all the way to $3,400 for Bitcoin, only to bounce back to $3,800. and which is trading somewhere between this range. So let's talk about that. You know, what is going on in the crypto market? Where is the bottom? What is the next move for Bitcoin? What to do right now? How to not just to survive, but how to thrive in this market, because there are a lot of people who obviously lost a lot of money. There are also quite a number of people who made a lot of money, on this market, shorting the market, which at this, state of the prolonged bear market, this is where the money is being made, when you short the market. So we're going to talk about that as well. So what a day. I've been watching the charts since this morning and last night. It's been kind of glued to the screen. It's been quite a show. If you take a look at an hourly, for example, what just happened a couple of hours ago, we'll see quite interesting picture. The bears took control somewhere over here late last night, in my time. Obviously it was afternoon in some other times, and we dropped here from 4,200 all the way to 3,600, which was a move of about 13% down, and then we kind of jumped back at 3,900, and then from there we slide all the way to 3,480. Now that was a point, like, I was thinking, wow, are we really going to break that point, 3,500? So we really reached that point, which I kind of talked about and warned all of you guys in the last couple of days that the bottom is not there yet. The bottom is not at $4,000. We still see pretty strong momentum to the downside from the selling pressure, and we might see 3,500, which we saw today, and $3,000 may be the bottom. We then, in a span of 2 hours, jumped from 3,400 to 3,900. So it was a $500 jump in 2 hours, which was quite epic. The buying volume came in right at this point, but then we started to slide again, and we're currently at $3,700. So as I see currently, all the attempts from the bulls to jump the price up are failing. They're failing. If we continue to jump over here, then it'll be a different story, but the attempts to rise are failing time and time again. So from what I can see, guys, we are still not at the bottom as of right now. It's pretty crazy. When you look at the weekly, we are oversold on a weekly, and it takes a lot to be oversold on a weekly basis. This is what it means, oversold. RSI at about 30% on the weekly, and this area, all this area from 3,000 to 4,000, there's not a lot of support found in this area. Like we've been a free not a free fall, like a rise to the moon last year, somewhere that is starting in about March 2017. We've been up and up and up and up and up, then we fall, then been up and up and up and up, then we fall a little bit, and then we went all the way to $20,000. So this quite a big area, quite a big range, but not a lot of support is found here at 3,000. There's a lot of activity going on here at $3,000, but nobody is like can say for 100% that we are going to stop here. We might end up being at $2,500 or even $2,000, which will be the bottom. But a lot of people agree kind of that $3,000 might be it, because we are down about 82%. Actually, more than that with the recent slide. We are down, yeah, 82% And as you know, during the 10-year history of Bitcoin, we've seen 5 of those epic falls and corrections. Just as epic rises, there have been epic falls. Not as impressive as the rises, obviously, but still, we were down 90%, we were down 85%, somewhere in this range several times throughout Bitcoin history. And this is another one of those years. And I just want to remind you, looking at the bigger picture things, right? If you take a look at the yearly, right, not even weekly, not even monthly, but yearly, we are up on the yearly basis, okay? And this is a technology that fundamentally, like in 2013, the bear market it was after the Mt. Gox collapse, and there was a bankruptcy of the exchange that was accountable for 70% of the trading. That was a different fundamentals, I can understand. But today, Bitcoin fundamentally has a lot more going for it, right? A lot more exchanges, a lot more adoption, a lot more wallets, a lot more people involved, a lot more startups around this. You know, there is just so much more in Bitcoin compared to 2013 and 14, right? We're at a different stage. And what about Fidelity investment? What about Backed? What about all of those solutions for institutional investors? Don't you think it's kind of like a coincidence that we are dropping that much right before the launch of the Backed platform, and right before all of these big institutional investors are coming into play? I don't think it's a coincidence. I think they are accumulating. And actually, if you are checking the wallets of the richest wallet, there is a richest wallets list in Bitcoin, and if you take a look at those wallets and what is going on, are people dropping Bitcoin or they're accumulating Bitcoin? If you actually go and see their balances have been increasing and not decreasing during this period of time. So that tells me that money is not leaving Bitcoin. Money, they're accumulating in this area. Nobody knows for sure where the bottom is going to be, because we are severely oversold right now on weekly. You know, that takes a lot, like I said, to be oversold on a weekly. We are of course not oversold on a monthly, but to think that Bitcoin is just going to continue to fall to $1,000 or even $500, that's an overstretch, because we're in different place. You know, there's not been such a huge catastrophe that will take Bitcoin back, you know, 3 years ago. We've been advancing a lot since this time. So the rich people are accumulating, and they are positive news. Just listen to the wise Chinese billionaire, what he is saying. This guy, Zhao Dong, he's a Chinese billionaire. He predicts $50,000 for Bitcoin in 3 years. He's been bullish in bearish times. He wrote something in Chinese to all of his followers. He's one of the most influential people there in China, apparently. This is what he's saying, you know. In the bull market, I don't persuade people to buy Bitcoin because it seems easy to make quick money, but in fact it is not. Now I start to talk people into buying Bitcoin. Those who make truckloads of money do not have a very short-term speculative driven investment mindset. Perhaps Bitcoin price will continue to drop even lower, and it may fall up to 50%, but it is still worth steadily acquiring coins every time it hits a new low. You possibly see a yield of 100 to 200% in 3 years, right? So that's, and then later he tweeted that Bitcoin will reach $50,000 by 2021. So the wise people are accumulating. Now, again, we cannot know exactly where the bottom is going to be. That's why if you accumulate, don't buy everything. Don't buy everything at this point, because it looks like we might still drop further to retest the $3,500 and even $3,000 levels. Okay, of course I don't see it happening without some kind of a fight from the bulls. Okay, but right now, every time that the bulls are attempting, you know, they're accumulating, they're buying, probably someone rich has bought and took $500, like 17% upwards for Bitcoin, from 3,400 to 3,900. You know, there's a lot of accumulation happening over there. But during this time, you want to be basically trading. If you are going to be trading, trade with the bearish perspective in mind. You know, it's tough. I know it's tough, because you think how low we can still go. We're already so oversold. How low it will be, right? I hope you're able to hear me. Like, how low will we be? And it's tough to short. I understand it's really tough to short in this market, knowing that, hey, we are already dropped so much. How much lower will we go? But with the bearish market, like bearish sentiment that we have right now, you want to be looking at shorting positions primarily after a bull spike. So the wisest thing to do when you have, for example, if this is on Bitmex, XBT USD on Bitmex, when we have those rises and spikes, bull spikes, that's when you take a short position. Okay, because we're not in a bull territory yet. We are not there yet. We are trading with the bearish mind. And I don't know why it's loading this way. It looks like we're a little bit stuck here on this chart. Just give me a second. Are you guys able to hear to view the screen? You know, it's crazy volatility that we are seeing right now in Bitcoin. And you gotta trade with a bearish outlook, in mind. That's how you want to trade those market. And looking at Ethereum, crazy opportunities. People who've been shorting Ethereum, oh my god. We are looking at $109 for Ethereum. It fell all the way to $100. And looking at the weekly and logarithmic scale, we can see Ethereum falling to like $70 again. And because there is no support, there is no historical support at those levels for Ethereum. Ethereum last year was just jumping from $10 to $20 to $50 to $100 to $200, reaching to $1,400, you know. So we are breaking support after support, and there is not found such a support level on let's look at Coinbase or Bitstamp. Okay, Bitstamp on a weekly. It doesn't go that far. ETH USD on Coinbase. Okay, here we go. And logarithmic. So look at this, guys. You know, where is the support in this area? Where is the support in this area? There is no support. There's no real support in this area. So can we fall all the way to $60 for Ethereum? Possibly. You know, it doesn't mean it will get there, but it's likely that we are going to continue slide for Ethereum as well. Some epic shorting opportunities found on Ethereum as well. I mean, just look at this past 2 weeks, 42% drop. It's crazy. A 10x leverage, that's 420% return on your equity that you put into the trade. So those people who've been shorting this market have been handsomely rewarded. Those people who were longing and thinking, where is the bottom, where is the bottom, where the bottom is not there yet, they have been punished. So this is what we are seeing right now in the charts. You know, we are down pretty severely. What about mining? Okay, people say, well, how about mining? Like what happens to miners? But there's a minimum cost for mining Bitcoin, and we are below that. So regarding the mining, the bigger firms in China and other parts of the world, they are mining at a loss right now until kind of two things will happen. Either they will see a rebound for Bitcoin, or the difficulty will adjust for Bitcoin, right? There is this difficulty, blockchain explorer. We'll take a look at that. The difficulty level, like miners can be leaving the field and selling their machines, equipment, stop mining, and the difficulty will adjust, and it will not be as expensive to mine Bitcoin. So the bigger firms, they are in for the long term. I mean, they have cheap electricity there in China, and they're not going to just abandon Bitcoin just like that. You can see that the difficulty already started to drop a little bit. Where is this? This is the difficulty for Bitcoin. Just wait a sec. My computer is not. Okay, here we go. Let's see, where's the difficulty? Okay, so the difficulty started to drop. So that means miners are started to leave the field of mining, right? So as it's not as profitable anymore for mining Bitcoin at those levels. So the biggest firms are mining the loss right now, but it's going to adjust. Obviously, if we are going to continue seeing drops in Bitcoin value, then the difficulty will drop, and it will not cost as much electricity to mine Bitcoin. Okay, so we're going to see where is the bottom. That's the bottom line. Where the bottom for Bitcoin as right now. It's kind of hard to tell. We might retest the $3,500 level again and reach the $3,000. That would be an interesting point at $3,000. Then the next one will be at $3,000. If we'll break the 3,500, which is not unlikely, we can see it slide to $3,000. And if it breaks 3,000, we might go to $2,500. But at some point, we'll find the bottom. It's wise to accumulate. You know, it's not for the faintest of hearts. So you gotta stick it out. You gotta bear with it. It's one of the biggest opportunities. It's fine in markets like this when drops are happening like crazy, in double-digit drops for a lot of coins, and once we recover from this, like you'll never going to see those prices again, okay, and or on the next bull run cycle. So it's hard to time the exact bottom for Bitcoin, so it's wise to accumulate. In the current market conditions, I'm more comfortable shorting than longing. Even though we are oversold, there's still a bearish pressure and uncertainty and FUD, and people are selling and capitulating and in a state of fear. So in those market conditions, it is although risky, not that it lack risk, okay, but shorting can be very lucrative. It's been very lucrative already, and it's still not late to short, because I don't know if we're going to hold that level 1,800 right now. Might be heading to another slump to find a true bottom for this year before the next bull run. So keep that in mind, and hopefully guys, you are looking forward to grab those amazing opportunities that are here, and don't get caught like a deer in the night. So take advantage of the opportunities in front of you. We have training, and we keep you up about our moves that we're doing inside our crypto traders community. Our weekly coaching and Telegram. We're still under the Black Friday discount. You can get it 50% off our crypto trading millionaires, and hopefully you guys are really not going to be that scared and fearful, but be courageous in this market and go and win at the end of the day. Okay, because Bitcoin is not going anywhere. It's much stronger than it was before in last slumps like this. So you know, it's not going anywhere, and the market are watching. People are watching closely what is happening with Bitcoin, but it's in times like this that you need to stick together, and you want to really take a look at the markets and be aggressive in this market. and you know, you're going to win. So don't be afraid, be greedy when others are fearful, and let's see what the next day is going to show for us. Right now we have been trying to fall and broke the $3,500 on a daily, but looks like we are back up at an epic move of about 13% or so, a little bit more than that, on from the bottom right here. So we'll see, we might go up a little bit, but right now the bearish sentiment is much more stronger than the bullish. So anytime we attempted to rise, we've been crushed to new low levels. I don't know, maybe it was the last price that we've seen, 3,500 Bitcoin at the lowest low, with for sure. But still going to be interesting to see how it develops over the next days and weeks coming to the new year. Stay strong, and I will see you guys in the next live stream.